In the hectic whirlwind of modern life, where demands seem to grow exponentially each day, many people find themselves navigating a sea of worries, deadlines, and expectations. It's easy, in this scenario, for anxiety to creep in, subtly, masked by other symptoms or simply normalized as an inherent part of a busy lifestyle. Often, when we think of anxiety, our mind conjures images of mental restlessness, racing thoughts, or a palpable sense of dread. However, anxiety is a multifaceted phenomenon whose manifestations extend far beyond the psychological realm, taking root deeply in our physical bodies. This text aims to unravel 5 of these physical signals, often underestimated or simply ignored, that our bodies send when they are weighed down by anxiety. The goal is not to offer a medical diagnosis, but rather to provide a closer look at the subtle messages our bodies emit, invitations to pause, reflect, and perhaps change course. Our experience with anxiety is unique, and often it's the simplest signs, those we dismiss as mere passing discomforts, that hold the keys to better understanding our internal state. The daily grind, pressure at work, family responsibilities, uncertainty about the future, all these factors combine to create an environment conducive to the development of anxiety. And the body, this incredibly adaptable machine, responds to these pressures in ways that aren't always obvious. We can be so focused on fulfilling our obligations that we ignore the warnings our own body sends us. A persistent headache that won't subside with common painkillers, muscle tension that seems to concentrate in specific spots, changes in digestive patterns, difficulty sleeping, a feeling of constant fatigue. These are just a few examples of how anxiety can manifest physically. The problem lies in our tendency to minimize these symptoms, attributing them to external factors or simple fatigue. We believe that if we ignore these signals, they will disappear on their own, allowing us to continue our journey uninterrupted. However, by ignoring these physical manifestations, we are actually silencing an important messenger, preventing it from alerting us to an underlying imbalance that can have long-term consequences if left unaddressed. This script, therefore, focuses on these physical signs of anxiety that, due to their subtle nature or our own reluctance to recognize them, tend to go unnoticed. The aim is to illuminate these signs, encouraging greater self-awareness and a more attentive listening to one's own body. This is not a generic self-help manual, but rather an invitation to personal investigation and a deeper understanding of the intricate relationship between mind and body. Each of the 5 signs that will be explored represents a facet of how anxiety can lodge itself within us, manifesting in unexpected and often disturbing ways. By demystifying these symptoms and understanding their origins, we can begin to dismantle the cycle of anxiety and seek healthier ways to deal with life's challenges. The journey we propose here is one of discovery and empowerment, enabling the reader to recognize their body's whispers and respond to them with compassion and wisdom. The relevance of this topic lies in the universality of the experience of anxiety and the growing need for more holistic approaches to well-being. We live in a time when mental health has gained prominence, but often attention is focused primarily on psychological aspects. It is crucial, however, to expand this understanding to include bodily manifestations, as the body and mind are inextricably linked. A physical sign, however mundane, can be a powerful indicator that something in our emotional system is dysregulated. Our unique perspective in this script is to focus on the signs that are most likely to be overlooked, those that can easily be attributed to other causes and therefore distance us from the root of the problem. Anxiety, when ignored in its physical manifestations, can worsen, leading to greater suffering and difficulty regaining balance. The path ahead will lead us to examine 5 of these physical signs in detail. Each will be presented not as an isolated issue, but as part of a larger picture, a form of body language that speaks to our internal state. The goal is to demystify these signs, offer a new lens through which to view our own experiences and ultimately encourage a more proactive and compassionate approach to our physical and mental health. Throughout this exploration, the focus will remain on identification and recognition, avoiding preemptive solutions or treatments. The emphasis will be on sowing the seed of awareness, recognizing the signals our bodies send us, paving the way for deeper understanding and possible future action. One of the first physical signs of anxiety, often masked by routine and a diminished perception of one's own well-being, is a change in sleep quality. It's not just about taking a long time to fall asleep, it's more subtle. Pay close attention to how you're resting. Do you wake up several times during the night for no apparent reason? Do you feel unable to achieve deep, restorative sleep even when you go to bed early? Perhaps you find yourself tossing and turning, your mind unable to slow down, replaying the day's worries or anticipating future events. This fragmented sleep, where the mind remains on constant alert even during rest, is a clear indication that the sympathetic nervous system responsible for the fight or flight response is overactive. It can't shut down even when the body cries out for repair. This involuntary wakefulness saps vital energy, leaving a feeling of exhaustion that doesn't dissipate as the day passes, creating a vicious cycle where fatigue worsens anxiety, and anxiety, in turn, worsens sleep quality. Imagine your body as a computer that never fully shuts down. It may continue to function, but performance drops dramatically, and the risk of breakdowns increases over time. This inability to shut down your mind at night is your body's silent cry for a respite. Continuing our analysis of bodily manifestations, let's consider chronic muscle tension. It's common for our muscles to involuntarily contract under anxious stress, as if bracing for an imminent impact. This continuous contraction, which can manifest in areas such as the shoulders, neck, jaw, or back, is often interpreted as a reflection of poor posture or excessive physical exertion. However, when this stiffness is persistent and not directly linked to a specific activity, it's a strong indication of anxiety. Think of this tension as a car alarm that goes off and won't stop, even in the absence of a thief. Your body is in a perpetual state of alert, keeping your muscles on standby. People often try to alleviate this stiffness with stretching or massage, which may offer temporary relief but fail to address the root cause, which is the continuous activation of the nervous system. This constant tension can develop into tension, headaches, back pain, and a general feeling of discomfort, limiting mobility and enjoyment of daily activities. Additionally, it's imperative to monitor gastrointestinal changes. The digestive system is notoriously sensitive to emotional states, and anxiety can trigger a range of reactions. Symptoms such as stomach pain, nausea, indigestion, diarrhea, or constipation, which arise or intensify during periods of worry, are physical signs of anxiety. This connection occurs through the so-called gut-brain axis, a complex bidirectional communication pathway. When anxiety activates the sympathetic nervous system, it can direct blood flow away from the digestive system, affecting its motility and secretion. Imagine your stomach as a balloon that deflates when you're scared, making you more susceptible to cramps and discomfort. Furthermore, anxiety can alter the gut microbiota, the set of microorganisms that reside in our intestines, and play a crucial role in digestion and overall health. Thus, what may seem like a simple digestive issue may actually be a reflection of the emotional turmoil you're experiencing. A fourth physical sign to watch out for is persistent and unexplained fatigue. We often associate tiredness with poor sleep or intense physical exertion. However, the fatigue that accompanies anxiety is of a different nature. It's a profound exhaustion, an energy drain that doesn't improve with rest. This occurs because anxiety consumes a significant amount of mental and physical energy. Maintaining a constant state of alertness, even unconsciously, requires continuous effort from the body and mind. Think of it like a car that constantly has its engine running. Even when parked, it consumes fuel without moving. This constant energy demand can lead to a feeling of overwhelming exhaustion, making it difficult to concentrate, stay motivated, and perform simple tasks. You may feel as if you're fighting an invisible force that saps your vitality, regardless of how much sleep you get. Finally, let's turn our attention to headaches and dizziness. These symptoms, often dismissed as symptoms of dehydration or eye strain, can be direct consequences of anxiety. The aforementioned muscle tension can extend to the muscles of the head and neck, culminating in tension headaches. Furthermore, hyperventilation, a breathing pattern common in anxiety states, can cause a decrease in carbon dioxide levels in the blood, leading to feelings of dizziness, lightheadedness, and even blurred vision. Imagine your body as a small ecosystem where the chemical balance is delicate. A change in breathing can destabilize this environment. This feeling of instability, of floating or about to faint, can be frightening and is a clear sign that the body is reacting to emotional stress. Recognizing these signs as part of a larger pattern of anxiety is the first step in unraveling the messages your body is trying to communicate. As we continue this exploration, it becomes clear that the physical signs of anxiety are not isolated events, but rather interconnected manifestations of a system out of balance. What may appear at first glance as mere annoying passengers begins, upon closer inspection, to reveal an underlying pattern of profound bodily communication. Each manifestation, from the stolen stillness of the nighttime hours to the tension that lodges in our muscles, passing through the complex reactions of our digestive system, the exhaustion that seems untouchable by rest, and the dizziness that disorients us, weaves a tapestry of sensations that, together, compose a narrative about our internal state. As we contemplate the convergence of these experiences, we realize that our body acts like an intricate map whose signals, when deciphered, point to a territory of apprehension and stress that we often prefer to ignore. The way these diverse reactions intertwine, how sleep deprivation exacerbates muscle irritability, or how digestive distress intensifies with constant wakefulness, suggests a systemic dynamic where each component influences the others. It's like observing the tides. The movement of one part of the ocean inevitably affects the others, creating a continuous flow of change. Understanding this interdependence is crucial to begin to unravel the complex language our body uses to alert us. Reflecting on the journey thus far, we can glimpse the magnitude of the message our bodies send us. These physical indicators, often overlooked amid the rush and demands of modern life, function as silent messengers conveying vital information about our well-being. The persistence of these signals, their ability to manifest in different areas of bodily functioning, points to the need for deeper and more attentive listening. It is an invitation to go beyond the surface, to recognize that what manifests externally in the body is rooted in internal processes that deserve our attention and care. At this point in our journey, the multiplicity and subtlety of anxiety's bodily manifestations present themselves not as a set of disconnected problems, but as echoes of a single source. The way these sensations intertwine and reinforce each other creates a picture that demands a new perspective. By recognizing the complexity and interconnectedness of these signals, we pave the way for a more comprehensive understanding of how anxiety can lodge itself within our being, shaping our physical experiences in unexpected ways. This collective awareness of the diverse ways the body responds to anxiety prepares us for the final stage of reflection, where the threads of our exploration converge in meaningful ways.